People say that home is where you make it. It could be a simple beachside hut, a floating house on the ocean, or even a treehouse. Your home can be whatever you want it to be. It's the place where you go to relax after a tiring day. You can enjoy it with your family or go there to be alone when you want. Some of us have regular houses, but others have been really imaginative and made extraordinary homes. Today we're going to talk about 10 of these amazing houses that you might find hard to believe. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, big and small, wide and narrow, even on cliffs or underwater. So don't forget to stick around until the end. There's something special waiting, something I'm really sure you didn't know existed. Number 10. House on the Rock. When we think about houses surrounded by water, we usually picture boats or living on an island. Now, the first special house on the list is located in the middle of the water, sitting on top of a big rock. You can find this house on the Drina River in Serbia. It even caught the attention of some important magazines like the Daily Mail and the National Geographic. If you think that having a house on a rock is amazing, just wait until you learn the story behind it. The story goes back to 1968, when a group of friends who were tired of swimming against the strong river current decided to take a break on the rock. The rough surface of the rock was uncomfortable for them, so they went back to the shore to get some flatboats to lie on. Before long, they set up the boards vertically to create some shelter, and just like that, these boys came up with the idea of a house on the rock. Nowadays, the house is one of Serbia's most special places. It's a wonderful spot to enjoy the surrounding nature, river, and forest. Number 9. The Carrot House. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, we have some narrow houses to talk about. Let me introduce you to the Carrot House, which is known as the narrowest house in the whole world. This amazing place was made by Jacob Stęszny, an architect from Poland. He says it's the narrowest house ever, only 122 centimeters wide at its widest part. But don't let its looks fool you. This narrowness actually makes it super smart with space and incredibly interesting. All the furniture inside had to be made exactly to fit this tiny space, and it was made for just one person to live in, especially for someone who is a homebody and prefers to work at home. Specifically, it's perfect for writers who travel a lot and need their own special space. Makes sense, right? You go up some stairs to get to the study and bathroom, but there's a ladder to take you up to the bedroom. Even though it might seem tight, the architect made it feel warm and cozy. It's pretty smart. Who could have thought you could fit a whole house into such a small place? Even though it was meant to be there for only 2 years, this house has become really famous in Warsaw. It's like a symbol now and a really important place for tourists who visit the city in Poland. Number 8. The Hobbit House. There are quite a few homes and hotels around the world that were inspired by the Hobbit stories. J.R.R. Tolkien's tales have had a big influence on people, so it's only logical to bring these places to life. The particular Hobbit house I'm going to talk about on this list is the one located in Wales. It's cozy and good for the environment. And what's really impressive is that it was constructed in just 4 months with the help of his family and friends, which cost the owner only $6,000 to make. You can discover this home on a hill, a little bit away from the busy aspects of modern life. The owner of this house, Simon Dale, along with his family, built this home to lead a more environmentally friendly lifestyle. They used oak for the house's structure, while mud and stone were used for the walls and the foundation. The house's insulation is made from straw bales, which the family applied to the walls, floor, and roof. After hearing about how they did it, I might even consider asking them to build a house for me. They make it sound so straightforward and appealing. I mean, who wouldn't want to live in a place that looks like it came straight out of a movie? This house is powered by solar panels, and the water used comes from a nearby spring. The Dale family truly remarkably embraced sustainability. Number 7. The Glass House. Imagine if your room didn't have walls, but instead was covered in windows. Privacy might be your top concern, but let's be honest, having sunlight pour in would be glorious. A designer in Tokyo turns this unusual idea into reality. He created the Glass House, also known as House NA. As the name suggests, this house is made entirely of glass instead of walls, and it's designed like a treehouse. Getting around inside involves a bit of climbing. Instead of using doors, you move up and down ladders to reach where you want to go. This 3-level building is like a sophisticated and modern version of a treehouse. If you happen to walk through this neighborhood, you can't possibly miss it. I'm aware that Japanese houses often look quite different from homes in other places, and this house truly stands out. Number 6. Falling water. Sometimes during a hike, you stumble upon spots that make you dream of camping there and staying for a while. These places might even lead you to imagine building a home right in that spot. A similar thing happened in Bear Run, Pennsylvania, where an architect constructed a house right within an active waterfall. When you first hear about a house being built in such a pristine location, you might feel concerned or doubtful, but hold on, there's more to the story. This house actually fits in harmoniously with the natural surroundings. It's so well integrated that it has earned recognition as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Architect Frank Lloyd Wright created this design for the Kaufman family, who used to spend their holidays in an abandoned summer camp at that very spot. When they saw the camp's poor condition, they approached Wright to transform it into something beautiful. Today, this house is nestled in the forest and, upon closer inspection, seems like a natural part of the environment. The house's foundation is supported by the area's roots, and its colors match the earthy tones of the trees. The design of the house carefully considered the existing trees, demonstrating genuine respect for nature. Nowadays, you have the chance to organize a tour of this unique house. So, if you ever happen to be in Pennsylvania, don't forget to include this extraordinary place on your list of must-visit destinations. Number 5. The Airplane Home. Apparently, there's one more thing that airplanes can do apart from flying across big oceans. They can also become really cool homes too. In Costa Rica, someone transformed an airplane into a special house with 2 bedrooms. This house has an amazing view of the ocean and is surrounded by a beautiful rainforest. Imagine turning the inside of a big plane into a bedroom. You'd have lots of windows, right? Well, this house is like that. If you take a look inside, you'll find out from the owner, Bruce Campbell, that the house is still a work in progress. Bruce thinks it's a great idea to use old airplanes to make cozy homes. He spends part of the year living in his Costa Rican airplane home and the rest of the year in Japan, where he gets to turn another plane into a home. So good luck to Bruce. It would be really interesting to see more houses made from airplanes in different parts of the world. Number 4. Clock Tower House. This one is inside a clock tower in a famous city in the United States, Brooklyn, New York. It's a big penthouse, about as big as 6 tennis courts, and it's one of the most expensive homes ever sold in all of Brooklyn. When it was put up for sale in 2010, the price was super high at $25 million, but the price gradually decreased and it finally sold for $15 million. From inside the clock tower, you can see a special view of 3 places: Manhattan, Brooklyn, and Queens. It's a really famous place for people who love the Big Apple. If you lived here, you probably won't miss a single appointment in your life. You're living in a clock after all. Number 3. The Flintstone House. Here's another house inspired by something you might have seen on the screen. The Flintstones House. Some of you might be too young to remember or know about the Flintstones, but they were once in a cartoon show and some movies. It followed the adventures of a unique family living in the Stone Age. It's a fun choice to watch with your children and family. The show was quite a phenomenon, to the extent that some dedicated fans decided to construct a house similar to the one the Flintstones had. This house is located in Hillsborough, California, and it was even labeled a public nuisance because of its unique appearance. It's too distinct you won't be able to miss it when you drive by. It even has some dinosaur statues outside to really depict that Stone Age vibe in the show. In 2019, some snobbish neighbors came together to request the removal of the dinosaurs, believing that the house doesn't conform to the style of the upscale neighborhood. Unfortunately for them, the owner, Florence Fang, is determined to keep the house as is. Maybe over time, these particular neighbors can get over their lack of appreciation for the unique and eccentric and learn to embrace this gem and say yabba dabba doo with a bit of enthusiasm. Number 2. The Floating Seahorse. The Floating Seahorse is a special house that floats on the water near Dubai. It's part of a bunch of man-made islands called Europe, which is a small part of a bigger group of islands called the world. Each island looks like a tiny version of a country from around the world. The Floating Seahorse is in the Great Britain section. People who live in this unique house can wake up to the sound of soft waves and see the beautiful ocean all around them. The lower part of the house is like living under the sea, so you can have tea while watching the amazing ocean life. Instead of a normal garden, you get a colorful coral reef right outside your door. Cool, right? More of these floating homes are being created as a result of the success of the Floating Seahorse on the market. The concept of a house is being expanded even further with this technology, which might be extremely useful in the event of major flooding or other potential world problems. Number 1. The Egg House. Remember how I said I'd show you a house that would surprise you? Well, get ready to be amazed by the Egg House in Beijing, China. This unique home was made in response to the skyrocketing prices of homes in China. When this person couldn't find a home they could afford, they decided to build their own egg-shaped house right on the sidewalk. I mean, what else do you really need to survive other than a bed and a roof over your head, even if it looks like an egg? They even installed lights and books inside, maybe even ones that are about eggs. And guess what? And it only cost them $964 to make. Plus, it's powered by solar energy. That's a pretty amazing deal, isn't it? This story really shows that we can make a home wherever we want, as long as we really believe in the idea and we're careful about following the rules of owning property. So, which house do you find the most amazing on this list? Would you think about living in any of these really unique places? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.